Well, I wrote a really long blog post about this one time, about this particular issue, but it was really long and it was like 3 years ago, and let's face it, people would rather watch videos. I'm gonna start out by saying I don't have anything against self-publishing. I have a lot of friends who have self-published. One of my friends, in fact, was just recently self-published. She published this, The Mastering. She specifically sent me this book, written and signed by CR Beck. And actually, I highly recommend it, so I'll post a link down there. So, here it is. 5 reasons why I personally choose traditional publishing instead of self-publishing. I've had a lot of people tell me that, like, because I get really stressed sometimes about writing, and I'm just like, what if no agents ever like it? What if I'm not doing it right? And then they're just like, why don't you just self-publish? It's easier. And yeah, it's easier, but I have specific reasons. Number 1, the querying process. I mean, I know this is unheard of for most writers, but I actually really thoroughly enjoy querying. I like writing out the query. I like emailing all the agents. I like hearing back from them. I like receiving rejections, which is probably weird, but it's really enjoyable for me. The same way I like movie trailers probably more than the actual movies. It's kind of like, I like the idea of summing up my novel and selling the idea. And then when agents respond with interest, it just makes it that much more exciting. But then they'll reject after that interest. So, I mean, you know. Number 2, when you're self-publishing, you don't really get any sort of relationship with an agent or an editor, and that's what I want. I really like literary agents. I think one day I might actually try to be one. So that's like half of what I crave when I talk about wanting to be published. I want to be able to talk to an agent about stuff. You know, I don't know. It's just the business partnership that I kind of appreciate the idea of it. Number 3. The help with marketing that you get from traditional publication. I like to think I'm pretty good at like marketing because I do it my own way. I draw fan art. You know, I draw art. And that's how I get people to read the books that I like. And that's how I get people to read what I write. But sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you need, you know, someone professional to hold your hand and help you do things that, you know, isn't as easy as drawing pictures. It's not so much that I want to get my name out there farther, it's just that I want to be able to market and it's just that I want to try new things when it comes to spreading my work. And number 4, it's because I like the challenge. Like, am I saying that self-publishing isn't a challenge at all? No, because I'm pretty sure self-publishing is just as hard in other ways as traditional publishing. But with traditional publishing, you get the rejections, and you get the more rejections, and then you get the changes to your manuscript that you might not want to make, and you get all these things that people translate as negativity, but it's really just, to me, it's a growing process. People have told me that if I were to self-publish my book, it's literally as easy as clicking a button and then you're published. And I know it can be that easy, but I prefer the other type of challenge that is waiting and being rejected and deadlines. Why does this sound like a dream to me? And number 5. Don't think that I'm shallow for saying this, but income is actually a huge thing for me because I have bills like anyone else. The average yearly pay for a self-published author is about $500 a year, and that's just the average. And the average pay for a traditionally published writer is 10 grand a year, which is still, you know, it's not ideal, but it's more than 500 for, you know, an average pay. But the thing about writing, whether it's self-published or traditional published, is it's hard, it's difficult. You gotta make decisions and you gotta make sacrifices. It's just like any other job. So I'm not shallow. I'm not only doing it for the money. I'm doing it more for the satisfaction of the challenge. But am I saying that I'll never self-publish anything in my life? No, because, I mean, it's options. Everything is an option. I don't like limiting myself. So I guess that mostly concludes my list, my personal list of personal reasons. And now I have to get back to writing because so far today it's 2:30 and I've written maybe a paragraph. Back to work.